Hello boys and girls, welcome back to Temple of Tonology here at TopHat. Today we're going to show you going out, finally. Everybody's waiting a horrible long time to get the amps out these days. My apologies on that front. This is a new Rialto Reverb, black with an orange highlighted logo section. Standard fare as to what she is, but it's our latest guitar. I'm going to show this one in a 3 tele pickup, bridge pickup, Stratavarius. This is all Jazzavarius. This is the version, if you will, what's typically called a jazz caster, the tele type neck. This is an Alnico 3 Sparrow Righteous Sound bridge. This is a Alnico 3 King Street, I guess you would call it, P90 from Righteous Sound. Trying that out, learning more and more about the different magnets these days, getting more intimately familiar with them. This has an interesting mix of titanium on this saddle, aluminum on the middle saddle, and brass on the little saddle. Super nice checking, TopHat Custom guitars plate. This has some nice aging and relicing on the neck there. Beautiful patina on it all. Very nice, like old-timey Jazzavarius right off the shelf here with a nice 5, or is this the 4-speed? I forget. It's a 4-speed old-timey kind of shifter knob here. Very cool. So, gonna show this mostly and touch on the subject that, to me, Alnico 3, very unique. They're I would say, the most kind of different from the rest of A2, 3, 4, and 5. I think these are the most dynamic. They're the most widely varying in the volume knob and have a great strong turn down underneath. This is a, if you will, a generally speaking Fenderish type arrangement, so it's though this one gets fairly dirty, it's a cleaner amp, and with a cleaner amp you come to slightly different usages of these very dynamic A3 type pickups here. So, but that's what I wanted to cover. I'm going to do another one I'll show you with like EL84s, like the AC15 type arrangement. You really, I think that really brings these out. I always think P90s are best in a Class A type arrangement. But talking about especially the underneath stuff, when you get a slightly hotter, greasier type of Class A amp, that the turn down underneath stuff really gets the compression action of lifting up what is small into being bigger, so you really get great usage out of it there. But so we're kind of on 7. I'm going to start. I should start. It's always amazing to me. I was just doing it a second ago. We'll do the American. So we got a higher low gain switch, 2-way bright switch, EQ and EQ bypass switch. They're reverb and reverb bypass switch. Send and return on the reverb, treble middle bass here, and the volume. So that's the arrangement. We're up at 7 in the sweet spot. If we're doing it on the, what I'm doing is turning the mids down to where a Fender has the mids on preset, where you have no mid knob, and just quickly show you what I run into. Don't have a ton of reverb because we're going to get a little more aggressive here, but aggressive and you're stuck with your mid sucked out, which is killing all the rock and roll frequencies, it does a pretty good job of ruining the rock and roll effect. If we have a mid knob like I do on there, it's much more happy to turn into a rock and roll amplifier. does me no good now. We can't play that one. But this is an alder, and this is a regular slab board, but kind of a early mid-60s kind of Strat again, with the some slot flame in there amongst the grungy relic back of this Stratavarius there. This was about right at a 4-pound even body, but this is 3 telly bridge pickups, which is very interesting. A hardtail with a telly type bridge, all brass saddles here, and normal pickup arrangement, if you will, wiring. I do the tone knob for the bridge only, then this the tone for these two, otherwise 5-way regular action. But this is interesting for how much telly do you get out of your Strat type thing, where that's a different thing of how much telly you get through a Jazzmaster. I think most people might be amazed at how good. These telly bridge pickups work in the neck. Here we're hung by a pickguard rather than the metal plate on the bridge pickup, which I even can notice that on this one. Kind of hear it there, especially on the bridge, that you've got a hardtail and little warmth, not on the steel plate with the pickup hanging from the guard, and alder, say, than swamp ash or something like that. With a black Princeton is basically a Tweed Deluxe with an EQ bogging it down. And now she's weak in the knees. We give her all the help we can, crank her up about 3/4. And remember, in a Fender arrangement, the EQs are almost more like gain knobs because they're letting more through the EQ to get to the volume knob. It's a great because there's very little pushing everything, cramming it through the preamp. It lays there more simply. It, to me, makes each note bigger because it screaming down the river in a way. But this is sort of the Mike Campbell incredible recording tone, and it does it so easily because it's not crammed. It doesn't get too aggressive, but you can virtually, even with my big mid knob, you can dime and we're helping it, but you're not getting much bypass effect from the bright switch when you're this high on the 3/4 of the way up on the gain knob. But it's getting a little bit of help there, not too much. Mostly that you're letting it through the EQ, but it doesn't sound. Most amps, that would sound way too bright with that treble peg like that wide open. So. American, it gets a little more aggressive with the British. Yeah, the American. You don't have to go all the way up, but fairly up is good. You hear the guitar. Sounds vintage to me, like it just does it just lays there simple. Like I say, you gotta crank it up. Remember again, if we did not have the magic mid-range, and let's say we even dimed the treble and bass trying to, and let's go all the way. You don't get any help from any bright switch. The same thing in a stock old timer. The mid, giant difference, a little more help in the upper end. This one sounds great in that mode, but it needs cranked up. But that's the other beauty when you have a 10-12 watt output transformer. That it keeps it so very manageable. That's what I love about it. I do them sometimes with a bigger output, so they could be a 15 or a 20, 25 watt kind of thing. But this is the original magic, especially when you saturate the little output transformer. But we'll go back to the other realm, we could say. If we leave the EQ engaged and get rid of the reverb, you're into kind of a blonde bassman type of thing, and we'll cool her down so it don't get too hot there. But the reverb department bogs it down quite a bit, and you see that. We'll show you real quick with reverb. Without it, giant load. You tend to get a lot fatter, so you need to trim. Here you can hear it. You've got a second stage instead of the one stage of the Princeton or the Tweed. And now you hear how when you're hitting, it's shoving it down through the preamp there. You can turn down, but it's not the same as having a mild-mannered thing cranked way up, and you just get there the right amount when you're up on the guitar, and it's hard to beat. This pushes, gets you more output as well. That's bogging the power supply there. without the reverb, with the EQ, all that, and then the final super banshee mode that is the least necessary is we bypass the EQ and we bypass the reverb. There's one mode in between there I forgot to do, I'll just do in a sec here, which is no EQ in the reverb mode. Gets you an extra ballsy reverb mode there. But this you don't need to be too high. It's kind of like a train wreck or something whereby by 4.5 here. From before, and I think it's even in a better spot, a bit more usable. So that's, like I say, without it, when you engage it, is the more bassman-y mode, and even there again, you hear with the EQ, way more macho aggressive without it. So when you unleash it from the reverb, unleash it from the EQ, even with just two simple gain stages, there is a boatload. It's pretty well there by about 4. Back to the regular mode, Princeton Reverb. And we'll leave the British boost on, 7/7, even all 7s there is real good. And like I say, too much for the reverb there, but some of the mids out there. All the way down to Fenderland. It's weird how when you kill the mids, you make the bottom end flubby or tubbed out. It can't track right, which is odd. In other words, you leave that the same and you just bring in more mids and don't kill some of what's going on. You know, I think it's even killing enough of the low end that's what messes up the bottom end. Not flubby. Now I just suck the mids out. It's that's why I'd never. like stock Fenders in the old days. I'm a rock and roll boy. Like I say, give me that Celestian. Full rocky roll. Stock 6.5K Alnico 2 pickups. They're all Alnico 2 6.5, basically all three of them. You can get a Princeton to sing that beautifully. Like I say, this one. Mixture of American and British. Great guitar. Can't say enough good on this. Also has this great linear, lots of checking as I like. Ready for a new home. Come and get it, boys and girls. This is a winner. That's a winner. I'll do a demo with that through the Club Royale type amp. They're coming up shortly, and show you what she can do there. Have a good day, boys and girls.